Wait, is that?
Loki looks like the Shadow Man.
I'm just trying to figure out what Seth's doing. This man's freaking gaming hard. This man ain't paying attention to the class.
Can you hear me?
Professor Otto is muted, but he's going crazy right now.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yep.
Ahoy, youthful hearties. I address ye on the eve of an occasion 100 fathoms historic, the fourth election of the United Pirates of the Cosmos. Decades upon decades have passed since humanity had to leave its precious earth, and precisely 60 have passed since that day in August, Earth year 2040, when, having moments before ratified our Constitution, we cast our ballots in unanimous support of Miles the Merciless and his band of militarists to serve as our captaining band and to lead us away from Earth's imperial armada and then forth into a future of pillage and plunder. In our first election, we trusted my ever-mindful Stoics as the sailing masters, with our virtuous and reasoned devotion to the harmony of our great ship and its people. To quartermaster, we trusted the utilitarians, and to the position of gunner, we elected the transhumanists who could vaporize a dozen clippers with the laser cannon in the time it takes a lily-livered hornswoggler to walk the plank. Each band served honorably and well, modeling leadership that would later be handed off in our 2060 and 2080 elections. I do not write with regret for casting off our pirate ways into the vacuum of space. Some of our bands do indeed mourn the distance time has passed between us and our piracy, and with arguments both sound and, to my mind, quite empty of wisdom, they urge us to return to those old customs of piracy. Yet the demands and challenges of spaceflight aboard our frigate, and now with the great sloop of war, Oramor, now nestled in our bosom, have, as you know, turned our attention to a more pressing matter, locating a habitable planet. Easy for me to say. We are still the United Pirates of the Cosmos, but our booty is a place to build our future. Youth, this will be the first election in which you will participate as voters, and if your bands are so willing, as candidates for the positions of captain, sailing master, quartermaster, and gunner, as our Constitution defines them. Offer your band up for service, shall ye be so called. Whatever the case, embrace the consequence of this moment, for it may be that ye, the fourth generation of United Pirates, will be the first generation whose feet walk upon a new earth. Guide the great eschatology, guide the great Oramor, guide us to our bounty. Thank you.
Otto, you are so odd. What are you doing? Why are you even still on this ship? I mean, really? My God. Okay. These people really need to understand what they're going through, and Otto the Stoic. Always a good tale you tell, Otto. But I don't know if anyone here even understands a word you're saying. So let me straighten things out for everyone the best I can. So bear with me. I'm gonna show you our story here. It's been a long time since I worked one of these. Here we go. Okay. So what Otto was trying to tell all you fine crew members is that, hold on. Okay. Let's see. Is that there's a little story behind our ship. They're currently on the SS Eschatology. SS Eschatology. And let me tell you a little bit about how we ended up here. So, as he said, my name is Captain Mancini the Merciless. Back in my early days, I wasn't always a pirate, as you see me now. I was a captain, but I worked for the Earth's Imperial Armada. And in fact, this ship was part of the subfleet of the Armada. We were asked to go out on a secret mission, a voyage, great danger, but also potentially great wealth and riches beyond our wildest desires. So we took a voyage out to the Calandra system. Otto, do you remember the Calandra system? Otto, are you still there? Yes, you do. I know you would remember the Calandra system. It was a perilous journey that we set out on, but our mission was unknown, even to us. It was unknown. We set out to the Calandra system. You see, we were supposed to explore these fringe systems with the hopes of finding some type of inhabitable place for settlement. Imperial Earth wanted to send out more settlements, and we looked at this as an opportunity to create new civilization and go out into those uncharted realms. But we were lied to. We were lied to. We were lied to. You see, we ended up making it out to the Calandra system. But what we didn't realize is that so many of our crew would be taken. This is the fringe part of space that we ended up out on, and there was nothing there. We were sent on a fool's errand to go to this far reach of space, and what did we find? We found space rocks. Nothing. But it gets worse. It gets worse. Not only did we go out to find just debris and rocks and uninhabitable planets, but we would find out that this was actually a deep space weapons testing site that was launched by anti-imperial forces. So not only that, but we were just sent to be willing victims of the Armada's enemy. They sent us to basically be cannon fodder. Battles ensued. We lost many crew members. We tried our best, but we were outgunned, outmanned. There was just nothing we could do. Times became desperate. Desperate, to say the least. We lost much of our first generation crew, of which Otto and I are still part of that first generation crew. We're almost at the threshold where we could not operate our ship. You see, we need at least 75 able-bodied crew members to operate our frigate. And we lost many in these battles in the Calandra system. We sent out distress calls to the EIA with the hopes that the Imperial Armada would send out reinforcements, protect us, help us. After all, we're part of the Armada. And yet our hails went unanswered. They didn't respond back. They left us for dead. We're dead. So the crew demanded action. Those that remained demanded immediate action. And we had our first election, of which I was nominated, self-nominated, but I was nominated and elected as captain of the Eschatology. I became the captain and I served the crew. But it wasn't enough to just elect a captain. We had to elect other positions, as Otto told you about our constitution. But quite honestly, the captain's the most important part because we make all the main decisions here, which actions we will take or what we won't take on. And so I made a decisive call as captain of our ship, and that was to make our way to the Cardassian demilitarized zone to see if we could somehow secure more crew members and more resources, because we were desperate. Desperate measures were taken. We made that call that day, once we made it over to the demilitarized zone, to sit on the trade routes of the Imperial Armada. And we waged war. We took out ships, we increased our crew, we rebuilt our forces. Not only that, but we were able to build a fleet. We now have the sloop of war, the Oromor, that sails alongside of us and goes to war with us. We have crew members over there numbering 75. We have about 145 crew members now aboard the Eschatology. We are a mighty force to be reckoned with, and that's because of my decisive leadership, even though I'm no longer captain. But it's my decisive leadership as captain. In fact, Otto probably remembers this good song, this ditty. You probably remember that one, Otto. I know we used to sing it together many times. If you don't remember the lyrics, here it is. He's freed us from tyranny's grip. Serves the crew of our ship. When the fleet gives us trouble, we triumph through struggle with Captain Merciless. That was a great one, wasn't it, Otto?
Oh, Captain Merciless.
We love that one. But alas, I'm no longer the captain. I'm just a lowly crew member of this ship these days. I have nothing else to share with you all. I leave you with that I hope that the next captain is as successful. You know, you need a decisive captain. You need, my band was a merciless band, as the name implies, and we were decisive in taking action, strong action against any that opposed us. We would wage war, including against the Imperial Armada, whether we were outnumbered or not. We didn't care. So hopefully our next captain will serve you all well. Choose wisely, crew of the Eschatology. You need a brave, strong captain, one that will receive many songs in the future. So I leave you with that.
Well, I love that song, Captain Miles. What a great song. I'm Calamity Carey. I'm part of that first generation that rebelled from the Imperial Earth Armada back a long time ago with Otto the Stoic and with Miles the Merciless. And personally, I love being space pirates. I was really tired on going on missions for bounty for the Imperial Space Armada. The King was way too much in control of our destinies and our day-to-day actions. I really didn't like all that control on me. And we decided to rebel to become pirates, where we could decide together how to govern our ship, the Eschatology, and we could decide for ourselves how and when to chase treasure. And past elections have been really awesome. I'm so happy that there's another election in 2100. We have a new century and a new election. And throughout the year, several positions or several bands have held those positions of power. And every once in a while, we have a proposed mutiny. In Section 9 of our pirate constitution, it does say that we can mutiny and that we can get a 2/3 vote to unseat one of the positions. But it rarely happens because 2/3 is a lot of people to vote somebody out. And everyone who's in those positions of power, they know that they serve at the pleasure of the pirates on the Eschatology. The pleasure of the pirates.
Pleasure? Did you say pleasure?
I did say pleasure.
Oh, Calamity Carey, it's so good to see you.
You look beautiful.
Well, as a hedonist, I seek pleasure in all facets of life. And I woke up this morning and I was like, I want to look nice. Well, wake up this morning, what is time? Anyway, what do I have to tell you? Well, the pirate's life is the life for me, as far as I'm concerned. And this is a telescope. Anyway, do you recall the booty ball after the 2060 election? My, wasn't that a time? Oh, let me tell you about that time. It was fantastic. It was a time that provided me with a sense of perfection, of exactitude. You know, when you're going after that thrill and you need that one moment that really provides you with that, that was that night. I got everything I needed from that booty ball. It was the time of my life. And I hope that the incoming generation with this new election that is quite important. Hold on, I'm getting hungry.
He's always eating. Gosh.
I was hungry. The point is, this upcoming election, we got to get it right, get it tight. We got to do what we got to do, right? And this is on you all of you, the people, the participants, the new generation, all right? Now, we can keep traveling. I mean, that's what I would like to do. I like pleasure. We can keep traveling. We can keep searching. We can keep exploring. But at the end of the day, we got to follow our telos. I'm a pleasure seeker. I like the thrill of the adventure. I want to do that. That's what I want to do. Do you see how if you say something and you repeat it back like I just did, it makes it seem like you're making a point. You see what I'm saying? So we got to follow our hearts. We got to follow our telos. All right? You got to read. You got to listen. You got to know what you're doing. I'm sorry. Second gen, it's not your turn just yet. It's your turn now.
Aren't you guys just tired of all this? I mean, Calamity Carrie's, you've been my mother and we've been going through this for how long now? You bring up the mutiny. We've been traveling. I'm tired. I feel like we're going to just all run out soon. I'm tired of this. You know how I am into technology, Mom. I'm a transhumanist. And it just seems like we need to land our booties on where X marks the spot at this point. I'm tired of traveling all the dang time. I'm tired of being in the same ship with very few bathrooms. And I'm tired of smelling everybody else's business. Why can't we find somewhere that we land? We've seen this through every election we go through. We've seen the mutiny. We've seen people being unhappy. We think this is all pleasure over there, but what are we doing anymore? Why can't we just settle down?
Little one, it's not so simple. We can't just do that. Your generation doesn't understand, and that's why, you all didn't do much in your generation.
But this is why we have the technology now, so we don't end up like you.
Well, there's nothing wrong.
The disrespect.
I know. Really.
The disrespect.
Terrible. They realize, hopefully, you all shouldn't pay much attention to Sue Lee's generation. You all have to make better decisions than they made, okay? And you have some decisions to make. We all know that there's an election coming up, but there's something to decide beyond the election, because the crew, and as I know from being the captain of this ship 2 times, I was 2-time captain of the ship. Being the captain of the ship, you must listen to the will of the crew. So even if you're not a captain or a sailmaster or a gunnery or a quartermaster, you have to make these decisions or compel your leadership to make these decisions the right way. So while you're all thinking about which band will be in charge of what, you need to consider some of the options that are important to us right now, as Suli's generation wants to talk about. We can stay on track on our current course. That's one of the options, in which we're looking for some type of uninhabited system that we can call our own. We haven't done that. Or Otto, how many generations have we been searching for this mystery place?
Precisely 4.
So we can stay on this journey, generational search for that uninhabited planet, or we can go with another option, which is we go to a nearby system that we know that it is inhabited, and we take some of their resources. There are ships there, there are potential crew members there. We go there, we restock because we do have issues with resources and crew members, and perhaps we need to restock. So we go to that nearby system and we seek out and take what we need. That's what I think.
So what you're saying is that we can keep going where we're going to the destination we're going to,
Yes.
or we could go and steal stuff from people in some planet because we need stuff, right? I like to have a good time.
We
I
don't
want
steal. We
pirate
don't
life.
steal. We are pirates. We take what is rightfully ours.
They steal.
Tomato,
That's all we've been
tomato.
raised to do. We just steal.
Yo, do you all hear that? There's a signal. Do you hear that? That beeping that's going on? Hold on. I'm gonna take my whatever.
Looks like you can
Yeah.
play that microscope as well.
Yo, there's a signal also. We're gonna have to make a decision, yo.
A signal.
Sometimes when there's signals coming out from space, it does mean treasure.
Yeah. Treasure.
Signal, a sign. Come on, you guys.
Treasure is my pleasure, is what I'm saying.
We need to follow that signal. That sounds even better than just collecting.
Well, you don't get to decide anymore, right?
No, I don't get to decide.
But we have an election coming up.
We do.
Too much centralized power goes well, right? We need to make sure that we're always questioning the government and like question. It's a good thing that we are in time for an election. And now the fourth generation will get to vote.
I question
That's
your
you all.
elders.
So then we leave it in the hands of the next generation.
That's
That's
what's up.
what we're saying. Okay.
That's what's up, yeah.
So Otto the Stoic, do we have anything else that you need to share with our next generation crew members?
Can't believe I've been 100 years on this ship with you. 60 years. I can't even do math anymore.
You're an old man. Old man.
I'm looking forward to the booty ball after the election.
I'll play the music for the booty ball. We'll have a great time.
Always looking for a booty, Roberto.